Hi David. So Angus and Ben missed the game last week. How are they doing?
Both good. Both were in full training the week, full team training, and both will be part of the squad for the weekend if nothing extraordinary happens in the last training today.
Great. Is there anyone else who's got any injuries, or is it a fully fit squad?
No, at the minute it looks like that everybody is fine. Marquinhos had some slight muscle problems, but I don't think and hope it isn't too serious. But everybody else is in full training.
Yeah. How has training been this week? Obviously, it was quite a disappointing weekend last Saturday, but how has it been, the move?
To be fair, it wasn't much more different from the other weeks. Obviously, we analyzed and have spoken about the game early in the week. It was a normal meeting. I think what went wrong was clear and obvious against Burnley, and then it was all about preparing us for tomorrow's game against Bristol City. We know exactly what we have to do. We know exactly that we have to make sure that we play on our best. We will visit Bristol, a team which is for sure big in confidence after their positive run which they have. But these are exactly the challenges which we like to have. Away game, we said this before. We are aware about them, but we have to make sure that we play to our strength, that we do what we've done over majority of the last games as well. Attack the right areas and obviously make sure that we keep them away from our goal.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Bristol City because they are playing well at the moment, aren't they? Is this a bad time to play them, or does it not matter?
You know how we are, so we take everything how it comes. What we can't influence, we only respect and accept, and we take it on the chin. This is what we will do. Good time or not, you have to play them. We like to play them. We're looking forward to play them. We are excited to play them. Obviously, we like to correct a little bit from what we have done last weekend, and tomorrow we have the chance.
Yeah. Obviously, at home it's been difficult for Norwich, but away from home you've been really good. So, are you happy to be away from home this weekend?
No, to be fair, this is the same. I think every game is a new chapter, home or away. And we said this before. As we like to make ourselves independent from the opponent which we will face, we like to stick to our principles. We are independent from will we play home or away. We stick to our principles. So this is not what really cares us. It's home is the way. If it's Burnley or Bristol, we have to make sure that we stick to our principles and play on the highest standard, and this is what we really like to do, and this is why it isn't relevant, or it is irrelevant if we play home or away.
Yeah, obviously you're now 2 points outside the playoffs. Are you still at the stage where you're not really looking at the table, or do you feel you need to string some results together?
I think if you do, you can get confused because it can change, or it will change from week to week, or sometimes 3 times a week. So if you like to do it, do it. I will not do it because at the minute it doesn't give you a clear message because everything can change in 3 days. So this is the same. We are focused on our performances. This is what we really can influence, our performances, which we like to influence, where we like to get consistently in our performances on a very high level. And obviously, if you can do this, you will collect points and you will climb up the table. And this is our aim.
Yeah, and you can do that because it's going Saturday, Tuesday. So a run of games in succession. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, absolutely. But this is for everybody the case. They all together have this run now. It's exactly what I, as a manager, and normally all the players love as well. So the players don't like, or if they can decide between playing games or being on the training pitch, I think more or less everybody prefers to be to play games, and this is now what we have in front of us. 2 weeks with 5 games. We're really looking forward to it. Like I said, the most important thing is always the game which you face at next, and for us it's at now Bristol City. There's our full focus on, and hopefully we can play another good game with a good performance, with a positive result. I've heard that we can come to nearly 2,500 away supporters, which would be amazing if we will have them again in the back of us, that they back us, that they can help us to hopefully get another positive result away from home.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the fans there because it's a great turnout for such a long way. And they were brilliant at Coventry and Preston. And just how important were they to those wins?
Yeah, I think they played, and I said this before and afterwards as well, they played a crucial part in it. It's something totally different if you come into a stadium away from home and you can see, you can hear, you can feel the energy of your away supporters. This was the case, and I've feared, as I said, that will be the case tomorrow again. And hopefully we can make them happy and give them something to support on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and finally, it was, Tim Krul made a big mistake last weekend, but he put his hand up and apologised for that. What's his attitude been like this week in training?
No, good. So he's done his job. He's done his work. Obviously, yeah. He in the last 4 games, he made some good saves, but he made some mistakes as well. I know where you come from. Agnos is back in training now. It's like always, I have to assess every individual, every position, and then I have to make a decision. This is my job, and this counts for the goalkeeper position, like for the striker or winger or centre backs, midfielders. This counts for every position.
Excellent, thank you. Good luck for tomorrow.
David, thanks for your time. Take it on from there, really. I mean, have you paid any attention to, because obviously outside the camp, that era of Tim's, there would be a lot of people who focused on that, and it's not just that, as you say, maybe there was 1 or 2 other games previously. Do you pay any attention to that? Are you even aware of that maybe there is that focus on the keeper, and that's maybe a reflection of the broader, and you touched on it again there, that for you came in, you explained your decisions, and you just felt Tim over Angus from Preston onwards was the way he was going to go, but maybe that outside of the camp anyway is going to magnify any mistake Tim looks to make. Are you aware of that whole debate outside of it? Does it concern you at all? You're not bothered by it?
To be fair, for sure not as much as you maybe are. So I'm not strong on social media, and I'm not really strong follow the media in general. And but this not only depends on goalkeeper decision. We can speak about referees' decision or whatever, shareholders' decisions. I'm not really strongly linked on it. I understand that everybody has an opinion, absolutely fine. Everybody has to understand that there's only one man who makes the decision, and this is me. And obviously, for every position, I try to make the decision where I think it's the best for the team. And this is what I've done always, and what I will do before every game, to be fair.
Yeah. And the only thing I would add to that, would you agree, is that in Tim Krul, vastly experienced, he knows how it works, he's been over this, he'll have gone through these periods in his career elsewhere. So in terms of, there's no chance there's a keeper there or an individual there who is going to, that outside noise is going to have any impact in terms of his performance and what he does from week to week, training session to training session.
Now, if the question means did he get affected in training after what happened in the last weeks? No, it was a solid trainings week which he has shown, like all of the goalkeepers, to be fair. So I think or I've seen that they don't get affected in training from what happened over the weekend. In both directions, to be fair, sometimes have to deal with the disappointment not to get selected, and they have to show in training that they don't get affected by this. This is the case, and obviously some players who get selected and maybe didn't perform on the level which they've shown, they should not get affected in training as well, and this is the case as well. So this is exactly how it should be. And then always at the end of a week, if you have a game on the weekend, you have to make some decisions, and this is what I will do.
Moving away from any focus on individuals, I thought it was interesting straight after the game when you did your media and you talked about that first 20-25 minutes, you didn't think you were probably where you needed to be, and Burnley were very good and took advantage. But one of the things you said was about to counteract, as they tried to do on the day, that very high press. You need to be brave, playing those half-turn spaces in midfield. Clearly there'll be other teams they'll look at, I'm sure they'll do the debrief, they'll see how Burnley set about it, maybe seeing that they got enough success, and other teams might try that tactic. Is it really important the way you want to play with this Norwich team in that aspect, in terms of if you get a team who want a high press, you need to be really good in that phase of it, because that's such a crucial part of how you want to progress the ball through the pitch.
Yeah, this is correct, but I think we never should overestimate or underestimate certain situations. I think if you see, for example, when we played Coventry away, they wanted to press us high up the pitch as well. I think the second goal, or was it the first goal? No, the first was a corner. The second goal which we scored, we popped through this high pressure and we were able to break them and we scored. The biggest chance maybe against Burnley, which we had when Kieran should score, they pressed us high and we were playing on a high level and we were able to pop through and create this best opportunity of the whole game. So what I wanted to say is, obviously opponents sometimes will press you high, sometimes not. This is what their idea of football is. We can't influence. We have to make sure that we do and we stick to our idea. And we know that we are capable of doing it. But for this, we have to do it on the highest level. Against Burnley, obviously, they've done it very well. And we not have done it very well as well in our ball possession in the first part of the game. This is why, for example, it looked in the first 20 minutes like it looked this game. Obviously, then with the goal which we conceded, we started to get a little bit more nervous. Then it doesn't really help in this moment as well. But I think how the team then recovered afterwards was quite well. And then we should not forget there's always a separate part of football in the game as well. It's a defensive part. And I think against a top side like Burnley, we were able to more or less limited their clear-cut chances. So there are always two parts in the game, ball possession and without ball possession. And both are very, very important. Back to your questions, I think we have to work on the training pitch to even make it better. And obviously, yes, we like to play out from the back, but we are allowed to play long balls, by the way, as well, and overplay sometimes the pressure and then pick up the second ball. This is something what is absolutely allowed. It's all about to make the right decision in the right moment. So I like that we be flexible and that we are making the right decisions in the right moments. And in the past, I think over majority of the time, we were able to do it. Against Burnley in the first 15-20 minutes, it wasn't our best.
We don't know, because you're not going to let us into what the debrief looked like earlier this week, but was it, as you said after the game, you didn't get carried away with those two wins at Preston and Coventry, you wasn't going to get carried away in the other direction after the Burnley thing? Was it just a very calm, kind of just going back through, the areas where you just touched on there and touched on after the game, you just need to be better, whether it's individual mistakes, whether it's phases of the game and how you progress the ball in certain situations? Was it just a very calm, kind of clinical, right, this is what we didn't do right here, boys, we need to eradicate that, move on, put it behind you?
No, it was a clear conversation. So obviously it was so clear what went wrong in this game, especially in front of the 3 goals, which should not happen. We gave the goals far too easy away. We clear have shown it, we clear analyzed this, that this should not happen, especially not in such a game. We missed the chance to give a statement. This is clear as well. So this is what we have to say to ourselves as well. We missed this chance. But then it was very quick, straightforward. It's another game, another big game in front of us, Bristol City. So I don't think it makes sense to be too much focused and to hang on too long on the former game which we played against Burnley. It makes absolutely sense then to start the week, analyze, and after you analyze it, straightforward into the Bristol game, because it's another opponent, different skills, different qualities, where you have to prepare your team as good as possible, that they have answers for the questions which they ask you. And this is what we've done. So very quick, straightforward, and this is why I said we were anything but affected in training as individuals and as a group. So we have shown exactly what I expected from us. Go forward, show the energy, show the hunger and the desire as well. That, okay, we played not well, we didn't get the result, but now the next challenge is in front of us and we are hungry for it.
As you say, the next challenge is Bristol. Just interested, because you touched on it a bit earlier, in terms of your obviously role is to make the right decisions in terms of selections around the pitch. How close is Adam Eder and maybe Nunes after that nice cameo they produced there last weekend and what they've done obviously in training. You touched upon, I think it was last Friday, about how good Nacho's been in training in terms of his numbers. Are those two really knocking on the door now to maybe get into your 11?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only them, and this is what makes me so happy and so confident for the next 2 weeks with these 5 games as well. I can't promise and I can't guarantee, but I'm more than sure that both of them will start games in the next 2 weeks because they look strong. There's competition all over the grass, and obviously sometimes it makes sense to rest the one or other as well at the right moment. But if you name these 2 players, and not only them, to be fair, I think they will make start in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. It's completely just popped into my head. I should ask you already. You might not be able to say anything because obviously it's ongoing, but the FA did announce a charge against the club yesterday, I think. Just what can you say? Firstly, can we just clarify, do you think it's about that penalty claim that wasn't, and allegedly players surrounding the referee? I don't want to get into trouble, but obviously I have to ask you about it.
So I have to have a second before I answer. Not to come in trouble or to look at least serious when I answer.
1 second.
No, to be fair, buddy, how can I say it? I understand the behavior which my players have shown after I've seen. Oh, and to be fair, I've seen it in game in real time, and I was, I don't know, 50 yards away, and I was more or less 100% sure it's a clear handball. And after I've seen the video footage, I have to try to stay calm and not to sprint into a direction. But obviously, the rules are you should not do it, and obviously we then shouldn't not do it. But when I've seen it back, as a human being, as a footballer, as an energetic, enthusiasm guy, I can understand the behavior which the players have shown in this situation. And to be fair, I know, and this is something maybe I have to say, that referees, they have a difficult job to do, and they have to make decisions in a second, and maybe there was traffic in front of the ref, he was not able to see it, but as I said, we should not do it, but I can understand the behavior, and obviously the EFL as well came back to us and said, okay, this was a clear handball, this was not the right decision in this moment, but I think we should not make too much noise about it.
Just to clarify, as a club, has it been decided, are you able to contest the charge, or do you just have to accept it? Is there a process now? I think you've got until Monday, it said. You might not be aware of that, David. But
to be fair, this is not my task. I think because the rules are obvious and we behaved against the rules, we should and we have to accept it. But again, from a human being point of view and from a footballer being point of view, I can understand this reaction, especially after you've seen the situation in the stadium in this moment, and obviously after you've seen the video footage as well.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for that. Just a couple more on Bristol. I'm interested, have you looked back at the tapes of the game down here, which Norwich won 3-2 that night? Very open game, both sides went for it. Is that formed any part of your preparations for this week?
No.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Different coach, different game, isn't it? But as you said earlier, I think they're 8th unbeaten league and cup. So really confident. What type of game do you think is in store for you tomorrow? What type of challenge?
No, it's a team which likes to play football. Obviously, they are very confident with the run which they have, with the run which they are on. We know everything what we have to know, even if we haven't used the first leg which we played against them. We know everything, and what we have to know, we have shown the guys everything what they have to know as well, and we gave them an idea, a solution what we like to do against them as well. So we are absolutely prepared tactically. We will be fresh enough. probably you can feel it. I'm more than ready to go on Saturday, and I'm pretty sure the guys will be as well. So we are really looking forward to this game. We're excited for it. Obviously, I said that before, the away supporters which we have in our back. With the last game at home, which wasn't on our standard, we like to show what we can produce, that we can again show a performance which we know which we can do, and this is where we wait for till tomorrow, and then we are looking forward for the kickoff.
Thanks, David. Good luck tomorrow. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.